I know bloating can be really frustrating. It can be uncomfortable. It can be confusing because you've got no idea what's causing it. Stomach acid is one of the big underlying drivers. And also sometimes not having enough pH, like the acidity is not acidic enough. So we can't break our food down correctly. Noticing when you eat, like when you get the gas is really important. Like when do I bloat? Do I bloat straight after eating? Do I bloat a few hours after eating? Does it get worse through the day? Is it every freaking meal? Like when is it? So I want to unpack bloating today, and I know bloating can be really frustrating. It can be uncomfortable. It can be confusing because you've got no idea what's causing it. And I want to tell you this, it is your body's way of trying to get your attention and their answers. It's not something that you have to put up with, that you have to, every time you eat, you blow up like a balloon, or it progressively gets worse through the day. So they end up looking pregnant by the end of the day, and it's really painful and disheartening. So I want to break it down for you so you can understand. First of all, one of the big things with bloating is this low stomach acid production. So we actually need to make good levels of hydrochloric acid, which is our stomach acid, that when we eat food, we produce more hydrochloric acid to mush our food up, kind of unravel the protein. So our proteins are like kind of all raveled up and like mush it up and break it down. It doesn't break it down, but it unravels it. And so it goes into our stomach and it does its thing. And then as a result, we release a heap of enzymes. So when food goes into our small intestine, we start to break it down, it can be absorbed. And so often the biggest thing is they don't make enough stomach acid. Bloating and reflux can be a really common symptom. So some people will have bloating, some people will have bloating and reflux, some people will just have reflux. But actually, stomach acid is one of the big underlying drivers. And also sometimes not having enough pH, like the acidity is not acidic enough. So we can't break our food down correctly and activate our enzymes and kill off any harmful bacteria and pathogens that are coming into our gut that we don't need. There's a couple of things with this. First of all, we need certain vitamins and minerals like B12 and iron and zinc to actually be able to have good gut health and also make good levels of stomach acid. We also need potassium, we also need sodium. If we don't have a good diet and we're deficient, we can't make good levels of stomach acid. Then when we've got low stomach acid, we're then not absorbing what we're eating. And there's like this, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because if I've got low stomach acid, and even if I'm eating a really good diet, I could still be having the same issues, particularly with low potassium, because we need good levels of that to also make adequate levels of stomach acid. So there's this combo of the vitamins and minerals that we need in our body to make really good production of stomach acid. But then if we're eating it and then we can't absorb it, then we're not getting it in. The baseline needs to be taken back up to 0 and then rebuilt so that you can actually have the core ingredients. So I need the core ingredients to bake the cake. I need the core ingredients to make the stomach acid. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So zinc is really critical because it helps to produce hydrochloric acid. We need chloride because it's a building block of hydrochloric acid. Sodium, which helps transport the chloride into the stomach lining. We need potassium, which helps the function of the cells to secrete the stomach acid. So we need those, right? We also need B1, which can support with energy production for the acid to secrete in the cells. We also need B6, which is the enzyme related activity to break your food down. You also need B3, the same thing for the enzymes and acid production. So you can see what I mean when you say, if I don't make enough, then I'm not absorbing it, then I'm not getting it in, then I'm not making enough, right? Stress is the other thing. So stress, it's not just in your head, it also affects your gut. And when you're stressed, you make high levels of cortisol and it can really slow your digestion down and throw everything out of balance. And you might notice when you're more stressed, you're going through a really stressful period, you might actually, the bloating increases when you're really busy, when you're not slowing down to eat, or you're really super emotional. And a lot of that is to do also with that vagus nerve, which is that nerve from our brain to all our organs. And if we're stressed, we're in that sympathetic state, fight or flight. That tone doesn't fire well, and then we aren't able to digest and break our food down because blood flow goes away from our digestive organs when we're stressed because it's just not a priority. It's like we're trying to stay alive. So if we stay in that state, then we're never going to break our food down. The other thing that can be a real big thing with people with bloating is a condition called SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And SIBO happens when you have bacteria living in your small intestine that's living in the wrong spot, and it's pathogens that aren't meant to be there, and it's come in because your stomach acid is low and it's not killing everything else, or it's actually come up from your large intestine further upstream where it shouldn't be hanging out, and it's an overpopulation, like it starts to breed. And what this bacteria starts to do is it will feed on the maldigested carbohydrate that you're eating, and the bacteria will ferment your food. And then what happens is it produces a gas as a byproduct. That gas will then push back up through your stomach, and you'll either bloat, so it could be a few hours after eating, that's further downstream, or it will be a push back up and create a reflux, or like an immediate bloating that you'll feel after you eat. So noticing when you get the gas is really important. Like, when do I bloat? Do I bloat straight after eating? Do I bloat a few hours after eating? Does it get worse through the day? Is it every freaking meal? Like, when is it? That's really important because that gives you a lot of tools. And looking at that, and also, you know, if people have got really chronic bloating and it doesn't improve, one of the things that I give is digestive enzymes, and looking at helping break your food down and increasing your stomach acid through addressing vitamins and minerals, addressing your stress levels. If that doesn't address it, then we need to look at, okay, do you have SIBO, and do we actually need to address this so that you can actually get on top of that and stop the imbalance of the bacteria that's actually producing the gas. The way that you do that is you actually starve it. So if you've got any questions about this, and it's a big process, I'm not going to go into it now, but just to give you an overview of things that it might be. If you're struggling with bloating, you want to know more info, if you've got any questions, please comment below. But I also will put a link below that will be to a link to my website to book in a free health assessment with me. And if you want to have a chat around looking at your digestion and anything else that's going on for you health-wise, please just book in with me. We can have a chat and see if we're the right fit. If we're not the right fit, I'll point you in the right direction. And if we are, I can explain more about how I work and give you some insights and go from there. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll chat to you soon.